So everyone knows.
Oh, interesting.
They're all.
We did that. First time. Oh my god. I was watching about my show. The other show. I watched but I'm like, it's phenomenal.
I watched most of it. I now watch House Twice. No, I watched the old one. There is a few. I didn't watch the first one. I mean, just watch this one. We're almost to this.
That's the number one TV show votes.
Okay.
I think they had the bond DVDs after that. Because I got 2 years ago. Had a DVD player again. Just so the fox had it. So just,
I
wouldn't recommend watching the movie that follows. It's called like El Camino. It really is a disservice to the whole series, in my opinion. It's called El Camino. I forget if it's a prequel or sequel to Breaking Bad. It's all the same characters, but it's a cool.
That's one same question for you guys. There is only things all.
Yeah. I think I forget that it's because this is series before, right? So I watched many episodes.
I don't know, the one thing saw thing, I think I heard
It's not hurts amazing now.
7. We're recording and live streaming.
Good evening, everyone. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. Notice of this meeting was sent to the Cape May Star and Wave and the Atlantic City Press, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and has remained continuously posted as the required notice under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. And we all rise for a flag salute and silence our phones.
What we do is United States of America. One nation. Indivisible.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Antonicello,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Dick,
Here.
Mayor Sabo.
Here. Let the record also reflect Deputy Municipal Clerk Aaron Sear, Municipal Clerk Teresa Antiano, our Solicitor Frank Corrado, his associates Eric Lazama and Joe Sarah, our Purchasing Specialist Lauren Vitelli, and our Water Sewer Specialist Bill Isaac. Also, and John Chadwell is here, our engineer. So, and folks, onto the work session, we have our discussion regarding amending the ordinance for special events. And we have some amendments to that ordinance. The definition of public facilities, and these include Westgate May Borough Hall, Westgate May Volunteer Fire, Westgate May Volunteer Fire Company Hall, I think it's probably there. Backyard Park, Wilbraham Park, and any other real property required by the borough, Westgate May, and held in the name of the borough. A special event, showing the leader of the borough. And then must obtain approvals from any governmental entity, including the state ag development committee, regardless if it occurs on public or private property. Examples include, but are not limited to, a show, athletic contest, running race, bike-a-thon, entertainment, or other similar events sponsored by an organized group having a similar common purpose or goal, or any event held by an individual or individuals for a private purpose. Application for use of facility shall be in a written form, available online or at the Borough Clerk's office, to be filled out on behalf of the event. Next is the use of facilities agreement shall be in a contract to be executed by the event organizer and the borough. And it states what's included in that use of facilities. And the exclusions, applications for a special event permit must be completed and filed with the borough clerk at least 45 days before the date chosen. Each application for a special event permit shall be accompanied by a non-refundable fee with a fee schedule that should be adopted and revised periodically by the Board of Commissioners. Fee schedule shall compensate the borough for its out-of-pocket costs for utilities, etc. The application may be waived in certain circumstances if the Borough Commission decides. Some language usage that is updated here. So it's received by the Borough Clerk, submitted to the Commission for review and approval. The insurance requirements are outlined here. Special considerations for the use of Wolverhampton Park. The fire hall is administered by the fire department, so those applications will not be considered here. They have their own protocol for that. See.
Mayor, I think the principal issue remaining for the borough, for the commission is to decide whether you want to exclude Borough Hall as a special event venue, particularly based on the comments of the police chief the last time we were here.
I agree with that, Frank. I think we actually have gone through this at 3 or 4 meetings, had multiple opportunities to question what was on there, and we made our comments to you guys, and you guys rewrote this. I think where we left it last week was I had suggested that we make sure that we have a public works employee here, and we could rent it to people, but we would have to have somebody here for a minimum of 3 hours, and it would cost $150 based on the overtime rate. I think
Rather than excluded at the location.
right, or we can exclude it, and I would say that my opinion has changed when the chief came up and mentioned something I really didn't consider, which was that every time we let people in here unsupervised, and there's a court session coming in, they pretty much have to sweep the building every time. And I had no idea, I didn't think of that, so that's my own fault for not being as thorough as I should have been. But given the information that he gave us and how strong he was that he didn't think that we should do this, and that there's no other municipality in Cape County that does this, their meeting room like this, I think that we should withdraw that from this ordinance, and this is not a space that can be used in that way. That would be my opinion. Jack?
I've already stated my opinion in the first meeting, so I agree that if you are on board, absolutely.
Carol?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only space really, like Lower Township rents out their space, you rent out the Middle Center, etc. But same kind of deal that we have, or that we're proposing here, so I could go either way.
Okay, so I'll revise it to take Borough Hall out. And I guess the only other issue is that there is one group that had applied for and received permission to use Borough Hall. And my feeling about that when we approved it, prior to Pete Fashaw talking about it, it was under the old ordinance. And my opinion there is that unless that group voluntarily would agree to use the fire hall or some other venue, and we would refund the money that they pay. We have to honor our commitment to them, but nobody else.
And there would be a representative from the borough.
Yeah, we have to do it the way that, has to be done. So it's either, basically, we have to hear from that group whether they want to continue to meet here or, voluntarily move somewhere else. It's their call, basically. But that shouldn't stop the commission from amending the ordinance to make the changes that are, that you just discussed, Mayor, but also remove Borough Hall as a venue. Okay, so I will prepare the ordinance for introduction next time with the Borough Hall removed as a venue, and we can deal with.
Clerk, reach out to
Okay.
organization. Street signs, like those, anything on update?
I can update on the street signs. I'm still working with Greg, and Department of Public Works to come up with an example. We're gonna go to the HBC and discuss it with them to make sure that they're agreed with what it looks like. And then we'll look at moving forward. So that's in process right now. So hopefully soon we'll have a prototype and we'll bring it to the meeting. Everybody can take a look at it. I like to hear people's opinions.
Yeah, we had a nice meeting last week, myself, George. Thanks for coming, the engineer, Chad, and Greg was there with the Penn Global. And it's just happened, again, was confirmed by Penn Global. And if you want to see what we're looking at, is the lights in the park at City of Cape May, the old gazebo, I guess for a board report. Those are lights that they had done. It's just a matter of logistics now and finance and then, I guess bidding, right, George? That was the issue. Who does the bidding and?
Maybe Laura can,
Yeah,
let us know how that purchasing process would go, if you don't mind. Thank you.
So typically, we would take what the engineer specs and then we would go out to bid with them. We would try to see if there was maybe a vendor that was on state contract or one of our co-ops that we utilize to try to save some money in getting everything together.
And Jack, where are you? The one thing actually it's not on here, there's the street signs, which kind of I'm working on with Public Works. There's the light posts, which we both looked at. Where are you with the placards, the historic placards? Have you spoken with the old history committee? Have you?
schedule, I'm supposed to have, he's supposed to come, a gentleman from Cape May, North Wildwood, I tell him he's the, also the clerk in North Wildwood, he's also North Wildwood's historian. And he had done, a nice job of bringing North Wildwood, the placards, they're about 2x3, cast aluminum, very, very nice looking, with a wall where it's done. I'll have to be, decide on how many you want, the way you want them, what priority buildings.
How do you expect to go about determining which properties or sites in the borough would get a plaque?
I think we have to set a committee up with most of course, the historic committee and then, anybody has any ideas, suggestions, like the top 1, 2, 3, 5, most initially, maybe go with 5. Wilbraham Park or the old house that was torn down, things like that. The old city hall possibly, on second, I'm not sure. Everybody.
Yeah, you speak.
There are properties that in West KMA that are on the National Historic Registry, that those ones might be, good ones to start with.
Yeah, so definitely Historic Society, the mayor, and both George and everybody to decide.
Yeah, the newly rejuvenated history committee, and of course the HPC as well. Yeah, so, I think just, like you said, there's a couple of, a couple of locations that definitely come to mind. But, some ideas for that. I think we should utilize our own resources for that.
It'll definitely make things, they're really nice, and the ones with wrong are really nice, and not, they're not elderly or obtrusive, they're just, it's something if you're biking, you stop and walking, you can read something about. Like they had one in front of the old grammar school, it used to be Marvin Bates Hospital. So there was that, maybe Frank remembers when the hospital was in North Wildwood prior to. Prior to.
How long you been there? Remember when the hospital was in North London?
He's laughing. That's a good one, right?
I think it was 100 years ago.
But yeah, about 100.
No, the 50.
I was curious.
So before the hospital on Route 9, or on
Just
just,
Columbia Valley, that was there.
so there's a plaque indicating at the school, the old hospital stood here and things like that. Many people were born there, they still live in town. I met a couple of people that were born there, so they're still walking around. Well, so that's where we come to, something like that for the neighborhood and for the town. Give us some identity and some history while you're out and about.
And I guess when you identify those properties, making sure the property owners want those placards on your property too. So, okay. Will be continued. Our draft ordinance for controlling plastic dust and contaminants. We did, have the planning and zoning board look over it. They made a few tiny, additions in the section and that one, instead of when cutting or drilling. AZAC's trucks or fiberglass and all those other, products, they wanted it to say sanding instead of cutting, which they thought cutting would include
Instead of
drilling.
drilling.
Yeah, and then, including pressure treated. That's. And checking out that, reference to when practical, we did director and, on the planning and zoning board, we did not feel that it would be an undue burden on contractors to have that, vacuum attachment, so. I defer to that person's expertise, but.
So we're waiting on EC comment. The EC will review it on at their March 5th meeting.
Oh, I thought that was for them. All right, so that's another hurdle way into. Then we have the draft ordinance for water conservation and emergencies.
I'm sorry, Mayor, do you want the, does the commission intend to introduce the plastic ordinance tonight or next week?
Let's, yeah, Teresa's saying that the EC is still gonna weigh in on that, maybe the 5th.
Well, that's what you asked, so it's fine. You asked for the EC and planning board to weigh in, so I sent it to both, the planning board and environmental commission.
Okay.
So Doug, just make sure that at the EC meeting on the 5th, that they address this, ordinance, potential ordinance.
Yes.
That way, because that's the last part, like, if their comments and then we can decide. Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And then the draft ordinance for water conservation and emergencies. Bill, did you want to know any of these, any parts of those documents? You looked over it, correct?
I think that, I mean, I spent a lot of time on this. I think on the water conservation part, again, the one thing that was on here that needed to be changed was that if somebody would be in violation, the first step would be to send them a letter and educate them on, hey, this is what the rules are. Please make sure you adhere to them. And if they keep doing it, then it becomes more penal. I think that was the last thing on the conservation one that we needed. If there's no other additions to that, we should probably get that finalized and put to bed. And then on the I think we had a little bit more discussion on the water emergency, and we talked about the governor can declare a state of emergency for water, but there was two other ways that there could be an emergency, and one would be that the Cape May Water Department declares an emergency because they have an issue with their plant. And then the third way would be is we, as the borough, have an issue such as a water main break. That would be the third reason that we would have to have some kind of declared emergency. I don't believe that says that
Yeah,
completely.
yeah,
So if we can,
um,
Frank, if we can get that added in, I think,
because, yeah, I'm sorry. George.
no, I think that would basically finalize that one too.
Yeah. I think it says, shall we do the West Cape May Water Department via the superintendent of the city of Cape May Water Department? But we have our own hierarchy here, and there could be an emergency happening in West Cape May that doesn't involve the city of Cape May. So,
We're the state.
correct. So I would rely on our own staff to have the ability to declare an emergency as well. So that needs to be reflected in the ordinance.
It needs to be wordsmithed a little bit so that that's included.
I had a question on the water conservation on, the first chapter, overwatering. Maybe you can more clear definition, like,
What's that? Yeah.
overwatering lawns prohibited, what, overwatering?
It's such that no sprinkler extends beyond vegetation. So when you see those sprinkler systems that are just running out to into the street.
Away from that.
I,
And I got to do a volume, it's just, it's the actual spreading.
It's overstood.
so, I mean, think of another way to say that, you know, you see it, but it's obviously not being absorbed into the ground as it's intended, and it's just running onto the street or the sidewalks, then,
Okay, no, that
that's,
seems clean. Now, on the enforcement, on the next page, there's enforcement superintendent of water and sewer utility. Now, who would that be superintendent?
that's our purpose.
It could be, is it multiple people, is one person?
Yeah,
Or one employee, we have to local enforcement and inspection personnel.
so the water sewer, public works. code enforcement.
Okay, and on C, it says superintendent shall monitor compliance by systematic inspections. But how we do determine that? Is that
So, Bill, I'm sorry,
One
I know you're trying to, but, I know you monitor for anomalies in usage, correct? So, you want to explain how that can happen?
So basically what we do is just, do read all the meters, see what they've thought of the last and choose what I like, and I can see an anomaly with over water, a leak or anything right there.
So frequently, I know this to be true, that you've seen a huge water usage, and it could be someone who's not living here, but they have an internal leak, and we're able to contact the property owner and let them know to get a plumber out there. That's one of the ways that we want this
Yeah.
service that's provided.
okay? And then on declaration of water emergencies, I know it spells out that the board commissioners can also declare if there's a break in water or fire. But maybe it should be written that once that's fixed, or it's, that could be a day or 8 months or a week. I mean, once that's fixed, we should go back to a voluntary, it goes back to a voluntary water,
I would think that the public would be notified in all the manners that we utilize of the emergency being over.
And then the bottom, add duration of water use restrictions. Would that be better, saying, Frank, duration of water emergency?
Where are you looking?
I'm on
The emergency one at the bottom, duration of water.
conservation, water and sewer. And then declaration of emergency, at the bottom of the page, it says duration of water use restrictions.
Yes, I
Maybe
see
it
it.
should say water, duration of water emergency. Well,
No longer than.
No longer than reasonably necessary, restrictions shall be extended or short-lived deemed necessary and appropriate by the borough governing body. It continues on to the back page.
yeah,
Is what's, Is there a concern about that, Mike?
It's just a restriction, I would just do word more, emergency rather than word restriction or restrictions, or emergency. That changes things.
Practically, if there was an emergency, would we have to wait till a commission meeting to announce it, or could it be?
If there's a break in the emergency.
Right,
Yeah.
so,
Well, that's what this draft says. If
Well-
if you look at the section above, it says the Borough Commission has to declare emergency. So presumably the Borough Commission would rescind the emergency.
okay, I'm just saying about the declaring of the emergency. Again, should there be a catastrophic event affecting our water system that happened tomorrow, and, department comes to work and they find this,
Yeah.
that they don't have to wait for a commission meeting to
I
declare.
think, that was Commissioner Dick's suggestion,
Yeah.
that these other two methods be
Yes.
included here. At least for this draft, so that it can be in front of you, you can consider it, and then the public can comment on it.
I'm
And
trying to complete the circle.
Great.
Thanks. Okay,
And then the last page is, under enforcement of ordinance use restrictions is B, any law enforcement official in the borough of West Cape May. So that would be the police, just the police in Cape May,
Police and the code enforcement.
so code enforcement.
all right.
Thank you.
Anything else under old business?
So so Frank, you're gonna add the things we just talked about to that,
Correct.
and we'll have it ready for the next meeting?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Just wanted to make sure that was set.
I brought my posse along.
I see that. So it's good to have backup.
Business. Under new business, we have the proposal for improvements to First Avenue, fiscal year 2025, and JDOT. The proposal is in our packet. No. Awesome. John, if you wanted to speak to this,
Yeah. There's this, funded by municipal grant in the amount of $142,371. It will reconstruct the entire roadway of First Avenue, from Sunset Boulevard down to about halfway. Grant, it does include some storm sewer, to alleviate some flooding along Grant. We will be doing some concrete as necessary, but not too much for driveways need to be touched.
In that area that is flooding, it's always, what is the source of the flooding? Do you guys know?
Well, I'll have to take a look. It's usually Bill, we ran out there. It's
First Avenue?
Yeah. Just rainwater. Yes, it's rainwater.
It's just rainwater.
rainwater title.
Just has nowhere to go.
Gotcha.
Down.
So they're proposing putting in another storm sewer right there and inlet?
Where that pond goes.
Yeah, in that, and then on down to this paper street, out towards Paper Street. Yeah, okay,
Wow, Paper Street.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so there is a resolution on the agenda for that proposal. Okay. Item number 2, under new business, AMI agreement with Census USA meter infrastructure. This is a extension of our already existing agreement with this outfit to monitor how accurate the water meters. That's second.
This is the actual ordinance.
Right.
It must be.
Right. I said it. I said that in the chat.
It's the actual meters and must be that we use the software to build out sleeping back.
Right. Okay.
That's also on the agenda, 63.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have one question on this resolution, the devices. Frank, this is for you, Brent. Do we need approval from the residents to a waiver? Because there's such a waiver within the prison, if you wanna directly go into your building and come down with you sign a waiver and they charge you. It's almost like,
I don't think anybody goes into a building here. The meters are on the outside.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they can read the meter and they can have access to your building. I mean,
I don't see the need for a waiver with respect to this, what this is being done right now.
yeah,
And you're,
yeah, I know it's being done, but I'm just asking,
No, I
there's some,
understand the question. It's a good question, but my answer is I don't think a waiver is necessary.
they do with the electric links, the electric, you wanna have the more like you read, rather than the guy come out and physically read it. Like the old days, the guy would come and that was his job, he read it. And then the other way, you have to pay a fee to allow him to drive by and whatever they do electronically, their system. I didn't know if it applied to water.
This, approving this resolution doesn't change anything that's been going on.
just an extension of the
Yeah.
current contract.
And
No, can I ask a question? I'm going back to the first Avenue. One of the things that we had talked about on this project is putting in bike-friendly street striping. Is that included in this?
This is not part of this project, but we would lose a lot of parking at it. We could take a look, like a small add-on.
But Sharon's, not Blaine's, but Sharon,
We could discuss. it.
Okay,
It'd be a small,
I just don't want to make sure it doesn't get lost in the shuffle because if we're gonna do the bridge, we need to make sure that that road is safe and get access. Under new business.
Just one more question, Carol and George, on the, this meter. Do we have an app that as residents can go into and read the meter themselves?
We don't, and actually that was a question that Tom Myers had asked us last year, and we went to the vendor.
I thought we-
No, we don't, it actually goes to the web and then comes to our office. They said it was a security issue if they allowed every person, in fact, that was the issue.
Yeah, that's what it came up with.
Yeah, you're guys are right, that's it.
Well, then what's waiting before I get my reading this?
It would be helpful, like that kind of,
a way to monitor.
your own usage of it.
At this time, I'll open for public comment. If anyone from the public has any questions about a work session, please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Jerry Lago, 318 Third Avenue. So one of the things I'd like to call to the attention is the unintended consequence of the nozzles of the irrigation system and kind of going over the grass and maybe into the, area just beyond the curb or the asphalt. The thought would be to keep in mind that there are wind involved, so that if we have 5, 10, 15, 20 mile an hour wind, if it's being irrigated at 5 in the morning, there is a potential for that water to go beyond the grass area. So that's one area to keep in mind. The other one is the pressure within the irrigation system. If there is a pressure that, for whatever reason, coming from the water supply is increased, that's gonna thrust the spray further. So although the intention is good, I don't know if the practicality is there. So I hope that you take that into consideration when you're considering this ordinance. And then the other question I would have is, would this be considered the first reading of this ordinance? No. Okay. My next question would be,
I'm sorry, what's going on right now? Oh, no.
okay. So if I heard correctly, there will be a copy of the draft ordinance potentially for the
No.
next meeting. That's the hope.
when we introduce it, so like today, that ordinance is available because we are introducing it today. And then right in the ordinance, it tells you intro date, advertisement, second hearing and adoption, and then publication.
Okay,
Adoption,
so my
publication, right.
question is, before the next meeting, when that meeting, that's gonna be discussed, but will you have an opportunity to read the draft prior to the meeting?
I'll have copies available. If we're introducing it, copies will be available, just like tonight.
Okay,
Yes.
and that wouldn't necessarily be the final time that you could get the number.
Absolutely,
Okay.
The
It'll be in-
input,
The
is at the
hearing-
second reading and public hearing.
And Jerry, I always try to put it with the packet of resolutions as well that I put on too. If it's being introduced, okay?
The other thing I'd like to reemphasize is with regards to, and I think we talked about it at the last meeting, was the fact that obviously the governor has the approval to declare a water emergency, certainly the local water provider, as well as the local governing body. I think most importantly, once that water emergency has been relieved, stopped, whatever the correct word is, it's just for it to return to water conservation measures. So that, you know, everybody should certainly do voluntary water conservation measures and put that here to it. But I think it would be good if it's actually written as such. Otherwise, it's very good. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public who would like to make comment on anything discussed during the work session? Seeing no one wishing to speak, we'll move on to the regular meeting. On the consent agenda, we have the minutes from the February 12th, 2025 regular meeting and the February 12th, 2025 closed session. We have an ordinance for introduction and publication tonight. Ordinance number 641-24, amending the Borough Code to provide standards for water service line for replacement in the event of demolition. Anything missing? That ordinance. Resolutions, we have resolution 61-25, authorizing the refund of application overpayment, 601 Park Boulevard. Resolution 62-25, approving the proposal for engineering services for improvements to First Avenue, Sunset to Grant, fiscal year 2025, and JDOT. Resolution 63-25, authorizing the execution of a second amendment to the Advanced Metering Infrastructure Agreement between the Borough of Westgate, May and Census USA, Inc. Resolution 64-25, payment of bills, and Resolution 65-25, authorizing a closed session meeting to discuss some contracts.
two contract disputes, and it will just be an update. I'll just be updating the count with you. And there will be no official action. They don't anticipate the official action.
Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
The second motion,
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Antoncello?
yay.
Deputy Mayor Dick?
Yes.
Mayor Sabo?
Yes. On the non-consent agenda, we have no ordinances for second reading and public hearing, and no resolutions to discuss. Commissioners' reports.
Good evening. Unfortunately, I still want to travel to the Jersey DEP, and it's basically an emergency as of the 23rd of February. So people have the concern and to do this with this, I don't think the government declared emergency, but DEP has sort of warning sign. The rainfall is between 0.75 and 0.15 inches. Even with all the snow we have, it's still going to take us up to the level that we need. Regarding police, nothing has changed. All is well, court all is well. West Cape May fires all is well. I did get a report from the Cape May City though. They had 18 ambulance calls. You're aware that when you call EMS, they come to your house. It's for the city of Cape May, and there were 18 calls this year. I did, last week, they had a nice gentleman came from the dog, animal control, and they talked about the coyotes. Well, last night, I was amazed, I was going, leaving the city, going down the line, right? My park, and I happened to see this coyote that everyone's talking about. He's a big one. He looks like a dog. And he doesn't seem vicious, but he ran right back in the weeds when they're out there. And so if you see him, if he gets close, you can probably make noise or run away. He seems to be hanging out behind the antique doorknob and all the good food joints there. The Shea Michelle and the coffee place, all the great stops over there. So he's living in the right spot. I think that's it. Thank you.
Tracy, do you have the water conservation thing that we talked about?
No, I think.
Have it, can you put it on the screen?
Oh, yeah, it's in there. Yes, I'm sorry.
I just,
Yeah.
one of the things with the drought that we've been having for quite a long time is there's a lot of ways you can save water. And I think sometimes it's a good idea is to look at them. And you can read them. I'm not going to read them all, but trying to save as much as we can. So shorter showers, low flow toilets, turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth. It's amazing how much water you save. I mean, looking at turn off the water when brushing your teeth, 11,000 gallons, and that's a lot of water. Running toilets. I actually talked to Bill earlier this week about running toilets, and he told me we can pretty much tell you when your toilet's running because we can look at the water report that they get from the census meters, and they can see how much water is flowing out of this into actually into the sewer, basically. So anyway, I just want to put that up there, give people some ideas on some of the things that they can do. Run your dishwasher when it's overfull. I mean, some of the things are pretty common sense, but I think when you highlight them to people, they go, "Oh yeah, I should be doing that."
You didn't put down the 5 minutes for girls shower, 2 minutes for men.
Or yeah, I didn't put down instead of taking a shower at your house, go to the health club and do it. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Anyway, the other thing I had, this is another reminder of yard sale is on May 17th, so get your stuff out of your garages and anything you want to sell. Bulk trash pickup is the following Wednesday, and then we will have an e-waste event this year, which we haven't had, and that'll be on May 31st. What's that? And that is also shred day.
May 31st. It'll all be posted on our website and on the Facebook page and cities. If I stole my thunder, we do that. It's February, it's quiet, we're working on the budget right now, which is, we had a budget workshop earlier. But I thank all of our professionals for working on it. We are in good financial condition. And we'll be introducing the budget at the next commission meeting. And I think everyone will be happy by what they are here for the workshop. So that's it for tonight. I will take a motion. I will have public comment. This time we'll open for public comment. If anyone from the public has any comment, like to come forward. To no one wishing to comment, we'll take a motion to move into closed session.
I'll make a motion to move into closed session.
Second motion.
Commissioner Antoncello,
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Dick,
Yes.
Mayor Saban.
Yes. We will return to open session,
Yeah.
for adjournment.
You hear that beeping? It says don't pause it down. Because it'll start. I know.
Thank you.
Anyway. I don't want to go there. Oh, I'm sorry. I actually wanted to. Absolutely. There's so much going on. Yep, I'll take a look at it.
I'll write myself a note right now.
Trying to eavesdrop.
I like this. And hold on. Okay, we're recording again. Okay, this time can I have a motion to return to open session?
I'll make a motion to return to open session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Antonicello,
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Dick,
Yes.
Mayor Sabo.
Yes. Had a closed session, updated on a few of our contract issues and
And I've been authorized to communicate with the other side on a couple of items, but no official action has been taken.
all right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second vote.
Roll call.
Commissioner Antonicello,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Dick,
Yes.
Mayor Sabo.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Be safe.
We're typing there. Give Frank less. We just put the thing. Yeah, give Frank two.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm in.
Yeah. Just one change, the agenda said 20 minutes, it meets our time.
The agenda says 24.
I just said, we was right. Just seven o'clock.
Well, I was just looking for
So.
Oh, you want that? Thank you. The music did not look as I.
So email me this recording on the weekends.